Hey folks, welcome back. I have another segment today, and I wanted to talk about something interesting where the Bible talks about God being jealous. And when you think of the word jealous, you think of an envious type, what we see today in the world, or someone that's insecure. And it's kind of funny, a long time ago, I think even before I was a Christian, I was watching TV and Oprah was on. I don't remember the context of the conversation, but I remember her specifically saying that she can't believe in a God because he's jealous. So it got me thinking as a good maybe subject to talk about what does the word jealous mean. There's actually multiple meanings to the word, and I'm going to go through and pick it out and show you. So the first slide here, to my favorite scriptures, study to show thyself approved unto God, a workman that needeth not be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. And then Ephesians 4:14, that we henceforth be no more children, tossed to and fro, and carried about with every wind of doctrine, by the sleight of men and cunning craftiness, whereby they lie and wait to deceive. And we definitely see that a lot today. A lot of people will talk about subjects and they throw in their opinion, conjecture, and a lot of people get really confused. So I like to just keep it basic, simple, and talk about the scripture. So let's look at this word jealous. I actually didn't realize that there was more than one meaning of the word jealous. Typically, again, it's just like an envious, insecure type jealousy that I've always heard of. So I started researching this, and there's multiple meanings to this jealousy. I'm going to show you. There's a sinful jealousy, and there's a righteous jealousy. And you can see here, this is just a normal word. You can take a look at it online. A feeling of showing envy of someone or their achievements and advantages. Second bullet point there, very similar word. And then there's a third bullet point there I thought was really interesting. It says fiercely protective or vigilant of one's rights or possessions. I've never read that before until I started researching this. So what is sinful jealousy? These are what the words say. It says envious, covetous, desirous, resentful, grudging, suspicious, distrustful, doubting, insecure, anxious. Don't we see this in the world all the time today, where you'll have a spouse going out and doing things they shouldn't with other people, and it always causes problems. You'll see on the news, like something bad happens. I feel like on a weekly, maybe monthly basis, you always hear of stories of some type of sinful jealousy. And you'll see, I went to the Strong's Concordance, and you'll see when you look at this, the word jealousy, there's actually two biblical words that explain this. Here's the first word. Talks about being jealous and envious. So this is the one that we're mostly familiar with. At least I was. I haven't heard of the other type of jealousy. Numbers 5:14. This is where it starts, again, the envious type. And the spirit of jealousy come upon him, and he be jealous of his wife, and she be defiled. Again, just talking about sexual immorality. We see that all the time on the news, all over the place. Or the spirit of jealousy come upon him, and he be jealous of his wife, and she be not defiled. So this happens on both sides, male and female of the spectrum. Proverbs 6:34, for jealousy is the rage of a man, therefore he will not spare in the day of vengeance. That's pretty self-explanatory. 1 Corinthians 3:3, this is talking about sinful jealousy. For ye are not yet carnal, for whereas there is among you envying and strife and divisions, are ye not carnal and walk as men? So here's some cheesy slides. I'm going to explain what's going on here. As you know, in the English language and multiple languages, one word can mean different things. So if you look at the word bark, it can be the bark of a tree. If you see a dog barks. So you can see there's multiple meanings here. You can look at a swimming pool, the word pool, or you can go somewhere to a restaurant or at home or someone's house and play pool. Multiple meanings here. The word mine, showing possession. A mine, going into an underground mine and mining ore or different minerals. Think about the word season. We have 4 seasons: spring, summer, autumn, winter. And then you also use seasonings to season your food. Again, multiple meanings to each one of these words. The word squash can refer to the food, or you like squash a bug. And apparently there's a game called squash. Never heard of it. So there's 3 meanings just for that one word. Look at current, talking about current events, or the direction of speed flow, through the air or the oceans. Harbor, it's a sheltered area of water where boats go. Or if another word is harbor, you're going to shelter someone. You're going to harbor them. So again, let's look back at this word jealous. Those were sinful jealousies, and envious type jealous. And then we're going to look at this last one I never knew existed. Fiercely protective or vigilant of one's rights or possessions. And again, this comes from another word. If you look at that last word I show you, this is the same word, but it's spelled differently in the original text. And jealous is used of God as not bearing any rival, the severe avenger of departure from himself. God's the avenger. He protects his people. He led them out of out of Egypt into Israel, and he constantly protected his people. So there is what we call righteous jealousy: protective, defensive, vigilant, watchful, heedful, mindful. So God's jealousy is always a product of love. Jealousy, when referenced to God, it means fiercely protective. And you'll see when you look at the word jealous on the Strong's Concordance, 6 times it's referring to God. 33 times it's referring to a negative type jealousy. 6 times it's a positive jealousy when you look at that word. So let's go ahead and take a look at Exodus 20, godly jealousy. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven images or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. And typically whenever you see the word jealousy when referring to God, it's usually has to do with idols. People start worshiping other things, they get their mind off, and God tries to get them back on track because he knows where this goes. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the 3rd and 4th generation of them that hate me. For thou shalt worship no other God, for the Lord, whose name is jealous, is a jealous God. God even calls his name jealous. He's very protective. There's many instances all throughout the Bible where God goes through and tries to protect his people. Let's look at Deuteronomy 4:24. For the Lord thy God is a consuming fire, even a jealous God. Deuteronomy 5:9. For I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God. For the Lord thy God is a jealous God among you. That's Deuteronomy 6:15. Let's look at Exodus 20, verse 2. I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. So he saved his people from Egypt, took them out, and then all throughout the entire Bible, there's many scriptures that talk about God protecting his people, and that the original context of the word, there's multiple meanings to it. As you can see, even the definition today has multiple meanings. Isaiah 41:10, fear thou not, for I am with thee. Be not dismayed, for I am thy God. I will strengthen thee, yea, I will help thee, yea, I will uphold thee with the right hand of my righteousness. Godly righteous right here. 2 Corinthians 11:2, for I am jealous over you with godly jealousy. Paul, who wrote Corinthians, he distinguishes here that there's a difference between divine jealousy and human insecurity. I find it really interesting to wrap this up, that he's jealous over you with a godly jealousy. It's not a manly jealousy or human insecurity that we all see today. And the last scripture here, I really love the scripture, 1 Corinthians 14:33, says, for God is not the author of confusion, but peace. Don't overcomplicate this thing. I like to keep things very simple. A lot of times, our finite minds can't comprehend an infinite God. He's omniscient, he's all-knowing. So things happen, and as humans, we can't see the picture now, but down the road, months, years down the road, he can see what's going on. So he makes these things happen here, and it eventually gets you through at the end. So those are just my thoughts. We're going to keep this one short and simple. Don't overthink it. There's a difference between sinful jealousy and rightful jealousy. So if anyone sees Oprah Winfrey, I don't know where she is at now, but with her walk, but send this video to her. That's it.